Okay, in this video we're going to talk about how to do the dashboards for IDE-120. Now 120 is an oddball sort of course because normally in a course there's only a certificate at the very end of the course. But you can see this course has multiple certificates. So basically they could say go back and retake, go and take lesson 2 and then earn your certificates from lesson 2, and then they could tell this other person to take lesson 4. So that way the user does not have to take all the lessons if they don't want to. So it makes it good for the user, but it makes it hard for us because we have to do the dashboard reports for every single certificate. So there's a lot of steps involved with this, so I created a checklist here. All right, all these rows are stuff that we do in Moodle, and then all these rows are stuff that we do in the WordPress dashboard. This column here shows the certificate ID. So if we look 1.4, that I would look for that in lesson 1, and it's the 4th item in lesson 1. 2.4 would be in lesson 2. So let's go check on that. All right, so the first certificate is 1.4. Next one is lesson 2. It's 2.4, then 2.7, 3.4, okay, and so on. So those are the certificate numbers that we're working on. All right, in this one, update certificate wording. So basically, we have to go into each certificate and make sure that the wording is correct. So I'm going to go into lesson 1. And I'm going to click on Edit Settings, and go to Text Options, and it looks as though we have updated it for the 2019-2020 year, so that's good. So that's done. I could come in here and color this green to mark it completed. All right, next, restrict access to any. So we have to basically earn a certificate so that we can actually build the dashboard report. So I'm gonna stay in here and do restrict access, and we're gonna change it to any of the following. All right, I'm gonna color that green. All right, now I have to create a dummy student account, and I have to earn that certificate, and then I'm going to change it back to restrict access to all. In a previous training video, I showed you how the dummy student, you have to create a dummy student account or demo account, earn a certificate, and then you're going to come back and restrict the access to all. All right, so I'm going to pause the video for a second, and I'm going to go out and earn that certificate. Okay, I'm back, and I created a dummy student account, and I was able to earn the certificate. So I'm going to click on this, and you can see we have one issued certificate. So that's enough to be able to create the dashboard report. I'm going to edit the certificate settings and change the restrict access back to all. So force the student basically to click on all of the activities. Alright, so that's back to normal. I'm going to go back in to this and change this to green. Dummy student, earn the certificate, and restrict access to all. Alright, next, I went into the cPanel to check the database to find out what is the ID for this certificate, and the ID is 22. We need to know that information for the WP data table when we create it. So next, in WordPress in the dashboard, we're going to duplicate a WP data table, and we're going to save it. All right, so I'm going to come in here in nutritiontraining.com/dashboard, and I'm going to go to dashboard, and scroll down to WP data tables, and WP data tables. Click on the final arrow there, and we need to find an example of a 120 because the query for this one is slightly different than the normal courses. So I'm going to click on this one here to see what we have. And you can see that it does look like it is limiting it to the certificate. So all right, so what we're going to do, here is we're going to copy this one. All right, we're going to copy this one. I'm just wondering why there's two of these here. Let me just check this one here quick. All right, I think I can safely delete this one. That seems to be one that we just created that was not quite done yet. All right, so I'm going to copy this one here, this 2.9, and I'm going to hit duplicate. All right, so now I need to call that. We'll do 2.15. And I like to copy this into a text file so I can actually see what we're doing here. So change this date to 2019, 2020, and we're going to do lesson 1. All right, so it's right here, and just note that the WP data table ID is 78. So we'll need that information. 78. All right, we're going to wrap the text here so we can see that. All right, so the data table, the new one is 78 here. Now I have to edit the query. All right, so this needs to be changed here. This certificate ID. The course ID is fine. If we look at the course ID in here, it's 12. So this part here is right. So basically go out and find me all of the people in the class where the course ID equals 12 and where the certificate earned is ID whatever. So let me just jump over here. The ID has to be 22. So change that to 22 and hit save. Or if we want to preview that to see whose certificates are earned, that looks good. All right, so now we have to create a page. So let's go to Pages and click on this arrow here to see what was the last page. I know I just created a page, so let's see here. Let me hit date, but see when it was last modified. So it's this one here, 2.13. So let me edit this one. All right, and here's where we're at here. So I'm going to go ahead and add this one to our menu. So I'm going to go to Dashboard and Visit Site and open this up as a new tab. And I need to get that page added to this area here. So in order to do that, you go to Dashboard Menus, and let's see, 2.13. Visit site. All right, so here's my page here, and we're going to build out a link to each of those pages for all of these reports. So the first one is we need a link out to the Lesson 1 report. Well, we haven't built that page yet, so let's do that. Go to Pages. And we're going to create a page so that we can suck in that data. So I'm going to clone this page. I can go to Drafts and see the page that I just cloned. And I'm going to stick with the numbering of the same as the WP data table. So I know that was called 2.15, the one that I just created. Change this to 2019, 2020. And I'm going to add Lesson 1 in here like that, so we know that that's just for Lesson 1. Get rid of this junk and just call it 2-15. All right, and then the only thing we need to change here is this WP data table ID. So the ID is 78. Publish that. And you could click View Page to make sure it looks good. All right, so Compliance Report for New Sponsor Training 2019-2020, Lesson 1. Looks good. All right, so now we're going to need to add it to the menu over in here underneath this, or actually on this page. So basically, to create this link, you're just going to come up here, copy this URL, and come over to this page and edit this page. And click Lesson 1 report, click the link icon, paste in your URL, and update the page. All right, now when you go to view the page, the admin can just click on this Lesson 1 report to get to that. So basically, we're just trying to create a home page for IDE 120 because there's so many reports. Kind of need just like a centralized page that has the links out to all of them instead of trying to jam all those pages and reports into here. We're just creating a home page basically for that. So I'm going to get rid of this one here because I think that's an old one that we never really built out. So I'm going to come in here to menus and I'm going to get rid of this one. That didn't delete the page, it just removed it from the menu. If I come over here, I'll see I just have my home page here. That's good. Alright, so the next step here for Lesson 2 would be to build out Lesson 2 Topic 1 report. So you can come over to your course and look at Lesson 2 Topic 2. So it's Certificate 2.4. Alright, so I'm going to jump over here and I'm going to color in these green because we did these. We cloned the page and saved it. We added the add to dashboard page as a link. We did that. And we added it to the menu. So everything is done for certificate 1.4. Now we would need to move on to certificate 2.4.